Good morning and hello everyone and welcome for originals to the channel. Opening of a can of pop and all that. A little sip of a beverage first thing in the morning. Move something around here and then we'll get her started. News of the day. Now, this is interesting. Pierre LeBrun's reporting that none of the 10 cities that were in the running to be hub cities have been told that they're out. So as of this morning, none of them have been told that they're out. Now, we're still waiting on some kind of an announcement from the Canadian government on modified quarantine rules. That's what's supposed to happen here. Haven't heard it yet, to the point where now there's rumors out there that are completely untrue. Yesterday, the New York Times was reporting something that was not accurate regarding what's going on in Canada. They're not changing it so that you do not have to quarantine for 14 days if you come into the country. They're not doing that. That's not happening. They are extending the closure of the border till the July 21st deadline at the earliest. And again, I've mentioned this in videos before. Border guards are expecting it to be closed until the fall at the earliest, where they're expecting it to just remain closed for maybe six months or longer. And again, I know there's people who don't like it, and hey, I've got stuff that I ordered back in January that's still down there because I can't get down there, but, you know, it is what it is, and I understand, and I think it's staying closed for a while longer. So yeah, no teams have been told that they're out. There are plenty of rumors now. Now the rumor is that Vegas is going to get it, but all the Eastern teams will play in Vegas. Toronto may get the Eastern hub, but get all the Western games. Now, that would be great, other than wasn't the reason for having one in the East and one in the West so you can get them on a more regular schedule? So how does it make any sense to have the East teams playing in the West if you're going to have the East teams playing the Eastern schedule where they might play at 7 in the morning our time, which is 10 in the morning Eastern, to start their first game? And then you're going to have games in the East starting at potentially 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night? How does that make any sense? Or are we going to tell fans in the West, you have to be on Eastern time zones to watch teams you want to watch, and for fans in the East, yeah, you got to stay up till the middle of the night to watch your teams in the West? It doesn't make any sense. So we'll see what the NHL does, but, you know, I think there's a lot of speculation out there, and I really wish we would just get the Hub City thing finished. Because that's part of the reason why I haven't been reporting on it. Because until all these other cities are told that they're out, there's not a lot to report on. Because the other cities haven't been told that they're out yet. Are they? Probably. You know, maybe it's one of those situations where you see a girl around town and you go, hey, so she got a new boyfriend. And you go, yeah, I'm friends with her boyfriend. I don't think he knows. Maybe it's one of those things where the NHL's got a new girlfriend and they haven't told the old girlfriend yet that they found it, you know, that kind of thing. Anyways, Roman Polak, interesting, making news today in announcing, kind of sort of, that he's going to play for Vodkovice in the Czech Republic. I believe I'm saying Vodkovice right. That was a team name that I liked a lot. That's a city that I used to use a lot when I was making expansion franchises. Vodkovice or Vodkovice. Because I thought it sounded great to hear Jim Houston saying it. And apparently that's where Roman Polak thinks it sounds cool to play as well. He played there during the last lockout, and apparently he just wants to stay. And he may even be not returning to the Dallas Stars for the summer tournament. Now, he's been a number 6 or 7 guy, and he's a physical defenseman. And if he's saying, I want my NHL career to be done, I want to play at home to finish things out, congratulations to him on a much longer career than I think a lot of people give him credit for. He's played over 800 games. And he's been a useful number 6 or number 7 for Dallas. It's not a big deal if he goes. And at the same time, I'll miss him a little bit for that physicality. But he takes more flack than I think he deserves. And at the same time, if it is his decision not to come back and play for Dallas this year, I think they'll be fine. Brandon Prust is making headlines for the wrong reasons right now around hockey Twitter, saying that he thinks you should get a life sentence for resisting arrest. What? There's been definitely things we've seen on TV lately, and you hear resisting arrest, and then you hear what the original charge was, and you go, well, why were they being arrested for that? That's been my reaction anyways. So in the midst of these turbulent times online, He's going off, and apparently Tony DeAngelo's saying some nasty things about people. And the difference is Brandon Prust is done in the NHL, so he can say whatever he wants. Tony DeAngelo works for the Rangers, and the Rangers have every right to potentially trade his rights once the whole roster freeze is done, and we'll see how this comes out. But a life sentence for resisting arrest? They understand that there's times where police say, they were resisting when they weren't. So that opens a whole other can of worms. And so, yeah, okay. All right. The award voting deadline today. And it's funny because I follow a lot of writers online, and I see them having submitted their voting information. I voted, and I'm thinking, you get a vote in who the best players are in the league, huh? There are some that I'm like, yep, I have total faith in their votes, and there are some that I look at and I think, we could probably have a better system. I hate to say that, but there are. There are times where I look at it and I think, I don't know if I would give that person a vote, but okay, I don't have a vote. So if anybody's wondering, does Shannon get a vote? I don't get a vote. I'm a YouTuber. We don't get votes. That's not how it works. But it'll be interesting to see who wins the Calder, because that's the one that you can make the argument for Hughes. You can make it for Makar. It was asked to me in a recent live stream. I'll answer it here too. For me, Hughes is probably the rookie of the year, but Makar's probably the better defenseman over the length of their careers. Makar's probably going to be the better defenseman of the two. And it's difficult because Makar had a little bit of a struggle after the injury when he came back, but he was back into prime form by the time that the shutdown took place. I still think Makar's probably the better defenseman, but Hughes is probably, in my eyes, going to be rookie of the year, and this is where Rangers fans go, what about Fox? Yeah, that's a whole other discussion for a whole other time. Now, league bonuses are coming up, and the league wants to defer it. The NHLPA is saying no. So there's some negotiating to be had, and that negotiation is going to take place. My guess is this is going to be part and parcel of the NHLPA, NHL negotiation towards the next CBA. So all of this, remember, the CBA discussions are taking place daily, as has been reported. So my guess is that if the league wants to be able to push these back, there might be a concession given by the owners on something else. This is working together, Major League Baseball. It's something you could learn from. And again, the Major League Baseball conversation always gets interesting, where it's like, the owners are terrible. They are, yes. And the players are greedy as well. And this is the whole thing, and then you mentioned a salary cap, and for some reason Major League Baseball fans don't want anything to do with the salary cap, even though other sports have proven it works. The players still get paid. You get transparency from owners as much as you can get when it comes to revenues, and it seems to be beneficial to leagues. But man, baseball's being dragged kicking and screaming, huh? It's interesting. And apparently this summer you're going to get basketball, you're going to get soccer, you may very well get hockey, and yet baseball, we just don't know. Oskari Laaksonen has signed an entry-level contract with the Buffalo Sabres, defenseman, third-round pick in 2017. So we'll see whether or not he factors in training camp whenever that takes place, probably December. And again, and that pushback, I've seen some conversations on Twitter about that too. Like, well, the NHL wants to push back until we can have fans in attendance. No. The NHL's pushing everything back because they want this is a whole new landscape that they're trying to create here, and it's something completely different. It's not going to be business as usual, even if they say, "Oh, we can't have the tournament this summer, forget it." It's not business as usual in October. Bruce Cassidy is preparing for life without Krug. I've had Bruins fans come out and say, "Hey, I don't know what you're worried about the salary cap for. The Bruins can afford to keep Krug." And you can make the argument that they potentially could. They may have to sacrifice somebody else to keep him. But Cassidy, looking at it, he is getting ready for just in case Krug doesn't stay. Once this season is officially done, Krug may sign somewhere else. And he's looking at the potential for a 5-forward power play. I don't like that idea. And I'm going to describe here why I don't. With the extra forwards on the power play, I understand that you're trying to get a power play that's more lethal and offensively minded. But anytime you turn that puck over, it is way easier for the other team to score a shorthanded goal. Because now you've got forwards playing defense. And if forwards were great at defense, we would have more forwards playing defense. And so for me, the 5-forward power play, which some teams execute well, I think the danger factor is really high. And I miss the days when you'd have three forwards and 2 defensemen on the point. And so if there was a turnover, you didn't really have to worry as much about the shorthanded goal unless it was the Oilers from the 80s. The Oilers from the 80s seemed to score at will when they were shorthanded. So, and the Arizona Coyotes last year early in the season, right? So yeah, Cassidy's getting ready for just in case Krug does walk. So if you're a Bruins fan and you think that there's no way Krug's going anywhere, by all means, get in touch with Bruce Cassidy and tell him to just not worry about it. Everything's fine. Give him your numbers. I'm sure he'll be very grateful, and the Bruins will hire you on the spot. And then one other thing that I'm seeing anytime that, going through Twitter and finding headline-worthy stuff and finding stuff that's going on. And it's funny because sometimes when I'm digging around Twitter, I find items that haven't been reported yet on the major sports sites. But the one undercurrent that I'm seeing a lot right now is a lot of people saying, I just don't miss sports at all. I'm not going back. So I'm not going to watch it anymore. There's more important things than sports. I'm not going to watch movies or TV anymore either. What are you going to do? And are we really going to look back at 2020 and say that was the year that we decided we really didn't need sports at all? Because I have my doubts. It's like there are certain people on the channel that were saying, a couple months ago, there's no way hockey comes back. Can't. There's no way. Nope. Can't. And yet, when hockey's coming back and they're talking about it this summer, they're still here. So they're still clicking on hockey videos. They're still watching hockey content. So the idea that you don't miss it, I think it's maybe they feel that way now. And then as soon as that first pitch is thrown, that first ball tip takes place, that first down is played in the game, that first kick, and the first puck drop. Then all of a sudden you go, oh man, we're back. This is great. I missed this so much. I had no idea. And so I think that's what's going to happen. But I do find it interesting when people are like, I don't miss it. And I'm thinking, yeah, you probably do. Because again, you're commenting on whether it's something on Twitter posted by a sports personality, whether it's a reporter or a player or a coach, and you're commenting here on YouTube. You might be commenting on TSN or Sportsnet. Again, you don't browse to those sites to go, I really don't like... That'd be like me going on all the crocheting stuff that my wife does. I don't really care about this, but I'm going to browse it. Yeah, that looks really nice, actually. No. See, people are like, Shannon totally checks out crocheting sites. No, she's got her thing. I have mine. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video, and hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.